Bonjour and welcome, viewers and students, to Let's Speak French, Parlons Français. These lessons on basic French are short and easy, and if you follow the program regularly, I can assure you that very soon you will be able to understand French quite easily. The previous session focused on the pronoun I. In today's class, we will focus on the pronoun en. This lesson has been divided into 3 sections. In the first section, I will read out a French text where the pronoun en occurs several times. Then in the next section, I will explain all about this pronoun. And finally, in the third section, we will do an exercise to revise what we learned in today's session. We'll begin the lesson with a French text. This text consists of a dialogue that takes place between 2 friends. Louise comes over to Léa's place and helps her bake a cake for her mother's birthday. J'ai une bonne idée. Si tu veux surprendre ta mère avec le gâteau, on le prépare lorsqu'elle sort cet après-midi. Qu'en penses-tu? Génial! Voyons si on a tous les ingrédients à la maison. Autrement, je vais aller au marché pour les acheter. Alors, est-ce qu'il y a de la farine? Oui, il y en a assez. Et du lait? Il n'y en a qu'une seule brique. Il faut en acheter. Est-ce qu'il y a des œufs? Il n'y en a que 3. Du beurre? Oui, il y en a une motte. Est-ce qu'il reste de la levure? Non, il n'en reste plus. Tu veux ajouter de la vanille? Oui, j'en ai envie. Il faut que j'en achète un flacon. Tu as des caissettes à cupcakes? Il nous en faut au moins une vingtaine. Non, nous n'en avons plus. Tu veux que je m'en occupe des achats? Je vais chez le fleuriste pour commander un bouquet pour ta mère. Au retour, je peux faire les courses. Ce serait bien si tu pouvais t'en occuper, car je dois chercher le moule et le papier sulfurisé. Ils sont quelque part dans le grenier, mais je ne me souviens plus dans quelle boîte je les ai mis. Tu as besoin d'aide pour faire descendre les boîtes? Non, je n'en ai pas besoin. So this was a short text where the pronoun en has been used several times. In the next section, I will explain to you all about this pronoun. Similar to the pronoun I, en too is a tiny word and one may think it is of no consequence. But again, this pronoun too is very important. Pronouns are used to avoid repetitions because repeating a word or a phrase can make the sentence monotonous and heavy. Every pronoun replaces a specific object. In the previous lesson, we learned that the pronoun I always replaces a location or the noun that is the object of the preposition a. Similarly, the pronoun en too substitutes more than one type of object. There are 3 different cases when this pronoun is used. We will examine each one of these situations separately. But before we look at them, let me point out that the pronoun en is always associated with the preposition the, which translates as of in English. In all 3 situations, we find the preposition the before the noun that is to be replaced by en. The notion of quantity is always associated with the pronoun en, and this is the first concept that is introduced to beginners regarding en. In French, a quantity can be expressed through a partitive article, a number, an adverb of quantity or an expression of quantity. We will take up each of these one by one. But before we do that, let me explain how the pronoun en is connected to a quantity. The pronoun en never replaces a quantity, but it replaces the noun that is quantified. And this noun will always be introduced either by a partitive article, a number, an adverb of quantity, or an expression of quantity. Now let's examine each situation in detail. En substitutes a noun that follows the partitive article. We studied partitive articles in chapter 3, but I will refresh your memory by briefly explaining to you what these articles are. Partitive articles are du, de la, de L', and des. These articles look exactly like any contracted article, but it's their meaning that sets them apart. Partitive articles always indicate a portion of something. In French, partitive articles are mostly used with food which cannot be counted, such as sugar, milk, etc. With such nouns, it's mandatory to use partitive articles. The English equivalent of these articles is some, and its use is optional. So this was a quick recap of partitive articles. Now let me show you how the pronoun en can be used with partitive articles. In French, any noun that follows partitive articles can be replaced with en. Since partitive articles indicate a portion of something, they express a quantity. And we know now that the pronoun en is associated with quantity. Let's look at the following sentence. Je prends du thé le matin. I have tea in the morning. In this sentence, the noun that is quantified is thé. So this is the word that needs to be replaced with the pronoun en. But with partitive articles, one must remember to include the article along with the quantified noun. So it is not just the noun thé, but the phrase du thé that will be replaced with en. Je prends du thé le matin becomes j'en prends le matin. Let me use this sentence in a context so that you can understand when to avoid repeating the quantified noun. Je prends du thé le matin, et toi? Moi aussi j'en prends le matin. I have tea in the morning, and you? I too have it in the morning. In the example, we have a question and an answer. In the question, we mention the quantified noun du thé, but in the answer, we use the pronoun en instead of repeating the quantified noun. In the text, there are two examples where en replaces a noun that is quantified through a partitive article. Et du lait, il faut en acheter. And milk, I need to buy some. Est-ce qu'il reste de la levure? Non, il n'en reste plus. Is there any baking soda left? No, there isn't any left. As you can see, it's not just the noun that is replaced, but also the partitive article that is replaced with en. It's important to remember this point because generally it's only the noun that is substituted. Substitutes a noun that follows a number. Numbers also quantify a noun. So the pronoun en can also be used to substitute a noun that follows a number. Let's consider the following sentence where the noun follows a number. J'ai lu 4 romans. I have read 4 novels. In this sentence, roman can be replaced with the pronoun en. J'ai lu 4 romans becomes j'en ai lu 4. With numbers, one must remember that the pronoun en replaces only the quantified noun and not the number. I'll again use this sentence in a context so that you can understand when to avoid repeating the quantified noun. Combien de romans avez-vous lu pendant les vacances d'été? J'en ai lu 4. How many novels have you read during the summer holidays? I have read 4. In the question, we mention the quantified noun roman, but in the answer, we use the pronoun en instead of repeating the quantified noun. In the text, there is one example where en replaces a noun that is quantified through a number. Est-ce qu'il y a des œufs? Il n'y en a que 3. Are there any eggs? I have only 3. In this example, en substitutes des œufs. If we did not replace the noun with this pronoun, the sentence would be Il n'y a que 3 œufs. The word œuf is the quantified noun and it follows a number. In the text, the pronoun en replaces this noun. With numbers, one must remember that the pronoun en substitutes only the quantified noun and not the number. Substitutes a noun that follows an adverb of quantity or an expression of quantity. Finally, let me show you how en replaces a noun that follows adverbs of quantity such as beaucoup de, a lot of, un peu de, a little of, la moitié de, half of, or expressions of quantity such as un kilo de, 1 kilo of, un litre de, 1 liter of, une boîte de, a box of. If you notice, each of these phrases ends with the preposition de. So when we wish to replace a noun that follows an adverb of quantity or an expression of quantity, we must remember to omit the quantified noun along with the preposition de, which is a part of the adverb or expression of quantity. The rest of the adverb or expression of quantity must remain as it is. Let me show you an example. On veut 3 kilos de sucre. We want 3 kilos of sugar. In this sentence, the quantified noun is sucre. This noun follows an expression of quantity 3 kilos de. So if we wish to use the pronoun en in this sentence, we would have to replace the quantified noun along with the preposition de. The rest of the expression of quantity remains intact. On veut 3 kilos de sucre becomes on en veut 3 kilos. In the text, we have 3 such instances. Est-ce qu'il y a de la farine? Oui, il y en a assez. Is there any flour? Yes, there is enough. In this example, we find the adverb of quantity assez de, which translates as enough of or a sufficient amount of. In the reply, the pronoun en replaces the quantified noun farine and the preposition de. If the quantified noun was repeated, the reply would be oui, il y a assez de farine. Et du lait? Il n'y en a qu'une seule brique. And milk? There's only 1 carton. Here we find the expression of quantity une brique de, which translates as a carton of. The pronoun en replaces the quantified noun lait and the preposition de. If the quantified noun was repeated, the reply would be il n'y a qu'une seule brique de lait. Du beurre? Oui, il y en a une motte. Butter? Yes, there is a slab. And here we find the expression of quantity une motte de, which translates as a slab of. The pronoun en replaces the quantified noun beurre and the preposition de. If the quantified noun were repeated, the reply would be oui, il y a une motte de beurre. Adverbs of quantity and expressions of quantity always end with the preposition the. So when using the pronoun en, one must remember to replace the quantified noun along with the preposition the. The rest of the expression or adverb remains intact. So this was the first situation where the pronoun en can be used. In French, a quantity can be expressed in 3 different ways, and when a noun follows a phrase that indicates a quantity, the quantified noun can be replaced with en. Next, let me show you a second situation when the pronoun en can be used. When the object of a sentence follows the indefinite articles un, une, des, it can be replaced with en. Unlike nouns that follow partitive articles, these nouns do not indicate a portion of something. Let's consider the following sentence. Vincent a des raquettes. Vincent has some rackets. In this sentence, they is an indefinite article and not a partitive article because one cannot divide a racket as one would divide a piece of cake or a pie. But like partitive articles, the indefinite article too must be replaced along with the noun. So in this example, des raquettes can be replaced with the pronoun en. Vincent en a. Let me use this sentence in a context to help you understand how the pronoun en is used to avoid repetition. Tu connais quelqu'un qui a des raquettes? Vincent en a. Do you know anyone who has rackets? Vincent has some. In this example, en substitutes des raquettes. If we did not replace the noun with en, the sentence would be Tu connais quelqu'un qui a des raquettes? Vincent a des raquettes. In the text, we have an example where en replaces a noun that follows the indefinite article des. Tu as des caissettes à cupcake? Non, nous n'en avons plus. Do you have any cupcake liners? No, we don't have them anymore. In this example, en substitutes des caissettes à cupcake. If we did not replace the noun with the pronoun en, the sentence would be Tu as des caissettes à cupcake? Non, nous n'avons plus de caissettes à cupcake. So in the second situation, the pronoun en replaces a noun that follows an indefinite article. And while inserting the pronoun en, one must remember to omit the noun along with the indefinite article. And finally, let me show you a third situation where the pronoun en can be used. In French, there are certain verbs such as s'approcher de, to approach, se servir de, to use, profiter de, to take advantage of, that are always followed by the preposition de. And the phrase or the noun that comes immediately after the preposition de can be replaced with en. In the text, we have 3 examples of this. J'ai une bonne idée. Qu'en penses-tu? I have a good idea. What do you think of it? Penser de is a phrasal verb, and any noun or phrase that is the object of this phrasal verb can be replaced with en. In the above sentence, en replaces the phrase ma bonne idée. If this phrase had been repeated, it would be Qu'en penses-tu de ma bonne idée? Ce serait bien si tu pouvais t'en occuper. Do you want me to take care of the shopping? It would be good if you could take care of it. S'occuper de is a phrasal verb, and any noun that follows this phrasal verb can be replaced with en. In the above sentence, des achats is replaced with en. If the noun had been repeated in the reply, it would be Ce serait bien si tu pouvais t'occuper des achats. Tu as besoin d'aide pour faire descendre les boîtes? Non, je n'en ai pas besoin. Do you need some help in bringing down the boxes? No, I don't need any. Avoir besoin de is another phrase that is composed of the preposition de. Any noun that follows this phrasal verb can be replaced with en. In the above sentence, it is not simply aide, but the entire phrase aide pour faire descendre les boîtes, which is replaced with en. If the noun had been repeated in the reply, it would be non, je n'ai pas besoin d'aide pour faire descendre les boîtes. So, with phrasal verbs, the pronoun en can replace either a noun or an entire phrase. However, it must be noted that when de is followed by a verb, en cannot be used. For example, j'ai essayé de mémoriser mon numéro de code. I tried to memorize my number code. Here the verb mémoriser follows the preposition de, so we cannot use en in this sentence. So these were the three situations where the pronoun en can be used in French. Let me summarize it for you. In French, one can replace a noun or a phrase with the pronoun en when it is quantified either through a partitive article, a number, or an adverb or expression of quantity, preceded by an indefinite article or the object of a phrasal verb with de. When en replaces a quantified noun, you must always remember to repeat the adverb or expression of quantity. J'achète 3 pots de confiture. J'en achète 3 pots. Un and une are indefinite articles, but they are also numbers. So if an expression contains un or une, we must include the number. J'achète un crayon. J'en achète un. J'achète une règle. J'en achète une. Now let me bring your attention to the position of this pronoun. In French, the pronoun en is always placed before the verb. To illustrate it better, let us consider one sentence and examine all the possible positions of the pronoun en. Let's examine the following sentence. J'en mange un morceau. I eat a piece of it. If the sentence is in the negative form, en and the verb will be placed between the negative word pair. Je n'en mange pas un morceau. I don't eat a piece of it. If the sentence is in a compound tense, such as the compound past tense, then the pronoun en precedes the auxiliary verb. J'en ai mangé un morceau. I ate a piece of it. If the sentence is in the negative form and in the compound past tense, en and the auxiliary verb will be placed between the negative word pair. The main verb will follow immediately after the second element of the negative word pair. Je n'en ai pas mangé un morceau. I didn't eat a piece of it. The phenomenon of elision must be observed in certain cases. In this third section, we will revise what we learned in today's session on the pronoun en. A short exercise has been provided below. We need to rephrase the sentences using en. Ce matin, j'ai bouilli du lait. En will replace the quantified noun, which is lait. Since it's a partitive article that indicates the quantity, we need to replace both du and lait. And since the verb is in the compound past tense, en will precede the auxiliary verb. Ce matin, j'en ai bouilli. Il y a 5 courgettes dans le frigo. En will replace the quantified noun, which is courgette. Since it's a number that indicates the quantity, we don't remove 5. And since there is only one verb in the sentence, en precedes it. Il y en a 5 dans le frigo. Est-ce que vous profitez du beau temps? Profiter de is a phrasal verb whose object is du beau temps. So we replace the object with en. Since there is only one verb in the sentence, en precedes it. Est-ce que vous en profitez? Tu as vu des voitures devant la maison? En will replace the quantified noun, which is voiture. Since it's an indefinite article that indicates the quantity, we remove des. And since the verb is in the compound past, en precedes the auxiliary verb. Tu en as vu devant la maison? Il a préparé beaucoup de sandwichs. En will replace the quantified noun, which is sandwich. Since it's an adverb of quantity that indicates the amount, we only remove the preposition de from the adverb. And since the verb is in the compound past tense, en will precede the auxiliary verb. Il en a préparé beaucoup. With this, we come to the end of our 4th lesson. This lesson was divided into 3 sections. In the first section, I read out a French text in which the pronoun en occurred several times. In the next section, I explained the 3 different uses of this pronoun. We also learned about its position within a sentence. And finally, in the 3rd section, we revised today's lesson by doing an exercise. I hope you enjoyed today's session. In the next session, we'll examine the compound past tense of verbs with être. I hope to see you in the next session. Thank you and à bientôt. See you soon.